U.S. mail is not for sale. U.S. mail is not for sale. U.S. mail is not for sale. This is called activism, and this is how we let our representatives know how important this is to us. Paul? All right. But we have some distinguished speakers we're going to get on up here right now because they have places to be. Paul, who's first? All right, the first person we're going to have is Congresswoman Nikki Budzinski from Illinois. We're super privileged to have her.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, sisters and brothers. How's everybody doing today? Let's start out with the chant again. The mail is not for sale. The mail is not for sale. Amen. So I am so proud. I'm a union member myself. I am proud to stand with you each and every day to fight back against what we know this administration is trying to do, which is to privatize our U.S. Postal Service. Who is right? I come from the Midwest, where the Postal Service, you are our lifeline. You are our lifeblood of our communities. You are making sure that my constituents get the prescription drugs they need, that people are getting their paychecks on time, that they are getting their tax returns. You work day in and day out, sleet, rain, shine, to deliver the mail. And thank you. You don't get thanked enough for the work that you do every day out in our communities. And how you're being thanked by this administration is just wrong. What privatization is all about, whether it's with the United States Postal Service, with our Veterans Administration, or with the Department of Education, it is putting profits over people. Profits over people. And we are here to say, hell no. Hell no to that. We are going to fight back, and I would tell you I am so proud to lead with my House Democratic colleagues. 164 of us have signed on to a letter speaking out against the privatization of the Postal Service. And we know that DeJoy is now gone. But the future is a very uncertain future. And what is going to happen with the Board of Governors? Where is the commitment from this administration on leadership to protect our public services and to protect our public workers? And not enough with the full-on attack of our public service workers. It is not right, and it is not good for our communities. And so I'm so proud to stand with you today. You ordered up some of the best weather we could get in Washington, D.C. to show force and to say hell no to the privatization efforts.
No.
Because the U.S. mail service is not for sale. Thank you so much. I stand with you every day. Thank you.
I want to thank Representative Budzinski so much for taking the time to come out here. I mean, it's a big deal to have you here. So on behalf of all the brothers and sisters from all 4 postal unions that are represented here today, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we have Congressman Pete Stauber is coming up right now from Minnesota. Come on up, Congressman. And thank you very much for being here. We've got representatives from all the postal crafts here, so the show is yours, sir. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Great to be here. I've got just a couple minutes, and then I got to go back to a hearing. But listen, I represent northeastern Minnesota, Minnesota's 8th Congressional District. It's rural, and it's the oldest congressional district. We are not going to privatize the Postal Service.
That's right.
We rely on you rural carriers. We rely on you to bring us our medicine, bring us our food, bring us our Social Security checks, bring us our documents that we need in a timely fashion. And I want to commend all of you for what you do. And I want to specifically talk about the northern climates, where it's rain, it's snow 6 months out of the year, it's cold, and you've got your window open, and you have to deliver the mail to us. I want to tell you how much we appreciate that. I want to tell you how much we appreciate on December 23rd when we've ordered something for our children for Christmas and you come up after you've worked 14 hours delivering our presents. Thank you very, very much. And one of the things we want to know is we want to take care of our rural carriers, and I want you to know this. I so believe in you, and I so believe in your hard work.
We have Senator Peters is here to join us from Michigan, and right up here on the platform. We have members here from all over the country, from all the different crafts, so mainly rural carriers, but we're all brothers and sisters, so thank you for being here.
Well, it's great to be here with all the brothers and sisters who work in the Postal Service. And our goal today is to make sure the Postal Service stays independent and free. We can never let anyone privatize an essential service like the Postal Service. And we will not let it happen on our watch. Which is why you are here today. And when you think about the Postal Service, this is something that is actually written in the United States Constitution. Our founders understood that in order to connect a great country, you needed to have a postal service that delivered to every single address every day. And you're not going to get that from private companies. They're all focused on profit, and can they turn that profit, and they don't care about service. But what do the men and women of the Postal Service do? They care about service. You deliver the medicines to people who need it every day, regardless of where they live.
That's right.
We need to make sure that we stand behind it. There are powerful forces out there that are trying to undermine it.
Yep.
Please know that I will do everything in my power to make sure that we continue to stand up for the men and women of the Postal Service. But it's going to take action. You know, it's the other great thing that behind us here, that if you look at public opinion polls, you know, a lot of government doesn't stack real high when it comes to public approval. But you can't say that about the U.S. Postal Service. You have the highest ratings. People love their letter carriers, whether rural or in city, and all the postal workers. People understand the critical work that you're doing. In fact, I'm going to be introducing a resolution coming up in the next few days for the Congress to put its name on and say no to privatization. So please, as you're out there working today, talk to all the members. You got to support that resolution, because let's send a strong statement in no uncertain terms to Donald Trump and his folks. Keep your hands off the Postal Service. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Senator Peters. Next we have Congressman Garbarino from New York. There he is. Watch your step, coming up here.
All right,
We're
New
so
York.
pleased. So pleased. to
Thank
have
you
here,
very
brother.
much. Thank you all. Thank you. I am proud to stand here with you today to keep the Postal Service strong, independent, and public. I have spoken to the White House. I have spoken to the Speaker. I said, keep your hands off. You cannot do this. This is a bad idea. I get a lot of calls in my office, lots of calls. Not one is somebody complaining about their postal carrier. Not one. Everyone loves their postal carrier. I love my letter carrier. I love them.
We love you.
Thank you. We're going to continue to do what we've been doing here for a long time and fight for you all to make sure you get the support you need, the money you need, and the protections you need to keep your jobs. Other countries have tried this privatization and they have failed. It has resulted in higher costs and less service.
Yep.
I'm lucky. I'm from Long Island. I could drive 15 minutes in any direction and hit six post offices. I'm lucky. But that's not the way it is across the country.
No, it is
The
not.
rural carriers do God's work delivering the mail every day to areas that you can't get to. So my answer is, don't fix what's not broke. I want to thank you all for being here to do your advocacy. It helps more than you know. Get into those members' offices and tell them to support keeping the post office public. God bless you all.
Waiting for Paul. So at this point, is Tamika Brown handy? I want to bring up a rank and file member. Tamika, or come on up here. Get on up here. I want you to get up here and tell everybody your story and what it's like to be a rural carrier. It's all yours, ma'am.
Thank you.
Tamika from Louisiana.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is
Afternoon.
Tamika Brown, and I'm a rural letter carrier from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I've been delivering mail for the Postal Service for 15 years, serving over 720 addresses, including residential areas, schools, businesses, in a rural area just outside the capital of Louisiana, Baton Rouge. But today I don't want to talk about numbers. I want to talk about the people I serve, people who rely on me for more than just their mail. On my route, I service people from all walks of life, including elderly, widows, and widowers, people with chronic illnesses, mobility issues, and poverty. For many of them, I am the only person they interact with on any given day. For some, the biggest service I provide is human connection. It's not uncommon for me to pull up to a mailbox and find a customer waiting, simply just to talk to someone because they're lonely. When I work, the Postal Service is a lifeline, not just for food and medication, but for companionship as well. I think of people like Miss Betty, who lives in Denham Springs. She is a widow, struggling with COPD, blood clots. She recently had a medical procedure which caused her to have a struggle walking. She asked me to hold her mail, hoping she would have the energy to pick it up from the post office when she could. But I know she depends on her mail daily, because she's always looking for her mail. So I made sure, no matter what the weather condition or distance, I delivered her mail directly to her doorstep. Another time when she was sick and had no money to get essentials, she asked to borrow money. I couldn't let her go without, so I used my own money to buy her soup, crackers, and orange juice. Thank you. That's not part of my job, but it's what I do because she needs me and I care. Then there's Mr. Furman, a veteran and a widower dealing with Parkinson's disease. His symptoms have gotten so bad that he can't walk to his mailbox anymore. So he uses his riding lawnmower to check his mail. Because his mobility is increasingly limited, I take his mail all the way to his porch and leave it under his cat's bowl. We formed a bond, and he calls or texts me directly when he has outgoing mail. Mr. Furman and Ms. Duke both regularly thank me and tell me they love me as they look for ways to repay me. I always tell them there's no need to repay me. That's what I'm here for. These are just two of the people I serve, but their stories are a small sample of the hundreds of others on my route that rely on human connection and empathy. I know this fight is hard, but we cannot let this happen. We cannot allow the Postal Service to be dismantled for the benefit of corporate greed. The people I serve, our neighbors, our elderly, our veterans, are counting on us. Being a rural carrier is bigger than a job for me. It is an unwavering pledge of service to the American people that my colleagues and I are dedicated to doing. And I'm counting on all of you to stand with us and protect this vital, beloved institution. Thank you.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about right there. There's no better way to say it than that. I want everybody to take note. We've got representatives here from all 4 postal unions and friends and brothers and sisters from other unions here as well. But the postal unions are all represented. Shout out to all of you for being here. Solidarity. I also want you to all take note that the representatives that we have up here are bipartisan. We've got bipartisan representatives from the House and Senate up here speaking against privatization publicly, supporting us and supporting each one of you. You're all supporting the cause. They're supporting our cause. It's so important that you're all here. I think this deserves a rally, and this is all of us. I say union, you say strong. 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 That's what it's about, brothers and sisters. We stand together and we make our voices heard. in these established halls and buildings that are around us. When you go talk to your representatives on Capitol Hill, make them aware of what it is to be a rural letter carrier out in the country. Make them aware of what it is to be a city carrier in the urban centers, what it is to be a mail handler in the plants, or a APWU member at the windows, or the clerks in the offices. You make them aware what our jobs actually are and what it means to the American people. So I'm so happy all of you are here.
Over the years, I've received thank you cards, and folks have told me that I was the best mailman they ever had. That's the kind of work that makes you feel fulfilled. It's a job that has given me everything I need: a stable career, a way to provide for my family, and the chance to make a real difference in people's lives. But now I worry the future postal workers won't have the same opportunities I did. If privatization happens, everything that we've worked for will be at risk. The stable, dignified jobs we've built, the benefits and bargaining rights that we fought for, they'll be gone. The people we serve will lose the care and compassion that we bring, and the public service that has been the backbone of rural America will be dismantled for the profit of profit-driven companies. I'm here today because I cannot and will not stand by and watch that happen. We cannot let the Postal Service be taken away from the people who depend on it. We cannot let privatization destroy this vital institution that has been here for more than 250 years. I need all of you to stand with us to protect this treasured institution and the work we do for our communities. This is just a small part of my story, and there are thousands of these stories being written across the country every day. I feel very honored to have been invited, and I thank you all so much for your time.
Brother Thomason, thank you so much. Brother Thomason from the great state of West Virginia. I see a familiar face over here. I see Representative Emmanuel Cleaver from the great state of Missouri. Would you please come on up here and say some words, sir? We are so happy to have you here. Yep. This is Robert.
Hey, look, we need to understand what's going on here, and I think you do, maybe more than any. We had a big rally in my hometown Sunday. You can't lay down if somebody's putting their foot on your neck. He said, even a worm will wiggle if you step on him. A worm will wiggle. And what we've got to do from now on is wiggle. Make sure that these people know what's going on, that we are going to wiggle until change comes, until you back away from our jobs. You're real human beings. You don't deserve to be treated like that. Americans don't deserve to be treated like this.
All right, I am so happy you came. Hey, so happy you came. I see someone over here that knows a little bit about mail carriers and the Postal Service. I see Representative Lynch from the great state of Massachusetts. You come up there and join us. And you know a little bit about the mail.
I do a little bit. Thank you, Don. Thank you all for standing up here and for stepping up and joining in this fight. You know, as Don mentioned, my family has a little bit of a connection with the Postal Service. So my brother-in-law Kevin just retired he's a city letter carrier. He's a United States Marine Corps, and if you knew him, he only mentions that a couple of thousand times a week. But so my mom Ann Lynch, 30-year member of the APWU. My oldest sister Linda, Union Steward, APWU. My sister Karen, also a member of APWU, just retired. Thank you for the pension. My cousins Danny, Pat, Billy, I'll get in trouble if I miss anybody, Marie. So I think at one point we had 17 members of my family, both through marriage and direct family, that worked at various departments within the Postal Service. So when I came here 25 years ago, my family said, you need to get on that post office committee. So 25 years ago, I got on the post office committee. And I'm very, very proud that, I filed a bill a couple of weeks ago that basically says Congress takes the position that we fully oppose the privatization of the United States Postal Service. I had to do that. My family would have killed me. But the good news is that I got 170 members to sign on with me. 162 of those are Democrats and 8 of them are Republicans. But hey, we got 8 Republicans, so that helps. That helps. About 35% of postal workers are United States military veterans. God bless them. So loyalty, patriotism is all bound up inside the United States Postal Service. In you. It's in you. So I just want you to know that and on behalf of all us Democrats, our fight, your fight is our fight. Your fight is our fight. But we got to expand this, right? You know, a few weeks ago we all went down to the Labor Department because, you know, people at the Labor Department were being laid off. Then 3 days later we went down to the Treasury Union because the IRS people were going to be let go. Then I go back to my district and I did an event in front of the VA down in Brockton, Massachusetts, and we protested against cuts to the veterans. They want to lay 80,000 more veterans off in the VA. Yeah, it's bad. And then I did an event with my letter carriers, National Association of Letter Carriers on the Common yesterday. But what I worry about is we're splintered. It seems like Trump and Musk have kind of divided us. And if I can give one bit of advice, is that we need to be together on this. We all need to be together, right?
We had a day of action with the NRLCA all across the country, and we had city letter carriers fighting like hell, and we had rural carriers standing next to them saying, hell no, all those things. We're in this together. I also see mail handlers, the National Postal Mailhandlers Union, the NPMHU. That's a hard one to say, but I got it right. I know that they show up in solidarity as well, and we're honored here today to have the National Secretary Treasurer for the National Postal Mailhandlers Union, Kevin Tabaris, is here to stand in solidarity with the rural carriers. Kevin?
All right. Tim said that I have to apologize for the glare. I think I'm giving you guys a little bit more than he is. So unfortunately, our national president, Paul Grogian's out of town at a steward training in Boise, Idaho. So instead, you got me instead. Sorry about that. I'm Kevin Tabaris. I'm National Secretary Treasurer for the National Postal Mailhandlers Union. I represent 53,000 mail handlers. So if you mail it, we move it. Most mail handlers work at the large processing centers, mostly working at night where we're out of sight. I've been a federal worker myself for 37 years. Woo! Yeah. And we all took an oath to uphold the United States Constitution. Amen. And we meant it. And we are definitely not for sale. We are a service. We deliver for you everywhere, 6 days a week, to every address in the country, all 50 states, commonwealths, and territories. Now, all 4 unions are here together, united, to protect not only our jobs, but your postal service.
I want to make note, we have a lot of rallies that have been going on all over the country, and the one thing that I hear a lot at these rallies is about rural America, how rural America will be definitely negatively, disproportionately impacted. For the rural letter carriers that are here, that's 51.3 million addresses that would be impacted, and 3.7 million miles a day you guys drive every single day that would be impacted negatively if we were to be privatized, or we got some kind of faceless contractors out there doing our jobs. Who knows what's going to happen? This fight is real. This fight's on our doorstep, and we stand in solidarity with the other unions, and we're glad they have our backs, and they're talking about us at their rallies because we all matter. We're all in this together. Next, we have the president of the Postal Workers Union, the APWU, my good friend, Mr. Mark Dimmenstein. Would you come up and say a few words to the crowd, sir? U.S. Mail! U.S. Mail! Listen, it's great to be here with our Rural Letter Carrier Union family. Great you were out there with us on the 20th. We were all out together with the NRLCA on the 23rd, and we're all together here on the 25th. These days are not an end. These days are a beginning for what's going to be a long, real struggle. But let's not make any mistake here. This is truly a struggle between Wall Street and Main Street. And the last I checked, you're all and all your customers are Main Street, am I right? Amen. For Wall Street, the Elon Musks, the Howard Lutnicks, the billionaire oligarchs, you can only explain privatization if they say it helps anybody, is it helps them. They can laugh all the way to the bank, and pay attention to the Wells Fargo report that came out on February 27th. So you don't have to listen to me about Wall Street. They are Wall Street. And here's what they said. We can't wait for the post office to be privatized because it'll be a great investment for our investors, because guess what? Parcel rates will have to rise between 30 and 140%. And therefore, we're going to make more money for our few wealthy shareholders. But the shareholders we care about are the hundreds of millions of people in this country who'll be left out with higher costs, less service, and the dedicated postal workers that you all are and we all are will take a beating in our wages, benefits, and our rights. And that will hollow out our communities as well, because guess what? Good living wage union jobs build strong communities. Thank you, brother. All right, this time we have Representative Deluzio from New York. I'd like to invite him up here. I'm sorry, Pennsylvania. I was bound to screw up, so there it was. If you have to eat crow, it tastes best fresh. I made a mistake. Come on up, brother.
Thank you.
So honored to have you here with us.
Thank you. Thanks. Guys, how are we feeling today? We a little fighting us? Yeah. Look, you heard it right there. The Postal Service is all of ours, right? It is something that is core to what this country ought to deliver for the American people, that you all deliver to the American people. This is a public service that people rely on, that they expect. We're talking more than 200 years. And we know, delivered mail to every corner of this country. It is critical. It's how seniors get medicine. It is how we get the things that we need in our homes, no matter where we live in this country. We should be doubling down on investing in our Postal Service, investing in the work that you all do. That's not what these robber barons are doing, though, is it? They are trying to plunder our government and plunder the Postal Service so they can funnel giveaways to billionaires and huge corporations. It's as simple as that. You guys support that? No! Hell no. You think the American people want to see our Postal Service gutted and privatized? No! I don't think so either. I say this not just as a citizen, a guy like everyone else who relies on our mail. I'm a veteran. One of the biggest employers in this country, U.S. Postal Service of veterans. More than 70,000 of my fellow veterans do the hard and important work, public service, getting the mail out to the people who need it. They're on the chopping block too. All of you guys feel that, am I right? Yeah. It's absolutely reckless. So I think you're up for this fight. Let's try that again. You up for this fight? Yeah! You up for this fight? Yeah! You're not alone, guys. Give them help. Thank you.
I want to give a special shout out to Representative Christopher Deluzio from Pennsylvania. Hopefully I got it right that time. We do thank you for all you do, sir. Appreciate him being here. So at this time, one of our we have a lot of rallies have been going on. I see a lot of Fight Like Hell shirts out there. I'd like to bring up, where's he at? I'd like to bring up Brian Renfro, the president of the National Association of Letter Carriers. Brian, come here, brother.
Good afternoon. Hell no! Hell no! Hell no! Hell no! Come on, louder. Hell no! Hell no! All right, so we've talked a lot about this consideration of privatization. We've had a lot of rallies already. The reason we have rallies like the reason we had this one today is to send a message. That message doesn't come from me or Don or Mark or any individual member of Congress or anyone else that picks up a microphone. It comes from all of us together. So I've got some questions for all of you.
What's that?
And what we want is for these people in that building and other buildings around D.C. to hear those answers loud and clear. Now, they are easily distracted. You heard somebody up here talking about a bill to take away money for electric vehicles. That's an example of how easily they are distracted. Good luck with that one. So this talk of privatization is an attack. It's an attack on every single postal employee. So what do we say to attacks on postal employees? But it's not just on postal employees. There are nearly 8 million jobs in this country that exist because of the Postal Service and what we do. So what do we say to attacks on those 8 million jobs? But it's not just jobs. The economy depends increasingly on e-commerce, which we do more for than anyone else. Nearly $2 trillion a year comes from the work that we do in our economy. So this is an attack on our economy. What do we say to attacks on our economy?
Brother Renfro, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to have you here and have all of the crafts here. This has been an exciting day. I'm excited to see all of you out here. You're going to go back over and you're going to talk to your representatives. You need to carry the message forward. As all of my union brothers stood up here, this is not a one and done. This is a long fight. This fight may continue on for the next 3.5 or however long it's been years. This is something that we have to send the message over there. You have to get your representatives on board because you are what? You are constituents. You have the right zip codes. You matter. Our voices at these rallies matter. They're heard. They make the news. That's important. But your zip code, where you live, the first thing when you call Congress, they want to know what is your address. What do they want to know that for? Are you a constituent? Can you vote them in or out of office? That's what they want to know. So when you come to these rallies, when you stand here today, I said this before, I don't care if you go home and wear a red hat, a blue hat, or a green hat. When you're standing here with all of us, you're wearing what? A union hat. You're wearing a union hat. When I say union, you say strong. 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 Get them signs up. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. All right, rural carriers, city carriers, mail handlers, and clerks, representatives of Congress, everybody who's helped put this thing together. We got Taylor, we got the legislative committee, we got Melissa, the people behind the scenes, Paul, the attorneys, Ian Gold, everybody. These things don't just happen. I show up and I scream in the mic. That's my job. Your job is go echo in the chambers of Congress and tell them enough is enough. Enough is enough. All right. Thank you.